Evangeline slammed the door shut, her heart pounding as the echoes of Miriam's vicious words rang in her ears. "You and your kind don't belong here." Miriam had screamed from her porch, her face twisted in rage, drawing stares from the quiet suburban street in upstate New York. But as Evangeline leaned against the wall, tears stinging her eyes, she couldn't shake the feeling that this confrontation was just the beginning of something far more shattering, for both of them. Evangeline had moved to this cozy neighborhood in Rochester 6 months ago, seeking a fresh start after a brutal breakup. At 28, she was tired of the city chaos in Manhattan, where her ex had left her questioning every relationship. Here in this tree-lined cul-de-sac she thought she could rebuild, focus on her graphic design job from home, maybe even date again. But Miriam, the 32-year-old divorcee next door, had other plans. From the moment Evangeline hung a subtle rainbow flag on her mailbox, Miriam had made her disdain clear. Snide comments over the fence, complaints to the HOA about inappropriate displays, and now this outright assault in broad daylight. Why me? Evangeline thought, pacing her living room. She replayed the scene in her mind. Miriam storming over after spotting Evangeline kissing her date goodbye. A quick peck, nothing more. Miriam's voice had boomed, accusing her of corrupting the neighborhood kids. Evangeline had stood her ground, her voice steady despite the fear. "This is my home too, Miriam. Live and let live." But inside doubts swirled. Was she too visible? Too defiant? Her family back in Ohio had warned her about small-town America, about the risks of being openly lesbian. "Keep it private, Evie," her mother had said during their last tense call. "You don't want trouble." Miriam, on the other hand, sat in her kitchen, her hands trembling as she poured a glass of wine. What had possessed her to lash out like that? She told herself it was righteous anger, protecting the community's values. Divorced 2 years ago from a man who cheated relentlessly, Miriam had clung to her role as the perfect suburban mom. Her 2 kids, aged 10 and 12, were her world, and she volunteered at the church, baked for bake sales, embodied the ideal. But Evangeline's presence stirred something unsettling. It wasn't just the flag or the kiss. It was the way Evangeline carried herself. Confident, unapologetic. Miriam envied it, hated it. Or was it something deeper? She pushed the thought away, focusing on the betrayal she felt from her ex-husband. If she could control her surroundings, maybe the pain would fade. That evening, Evangeline's phone buzzed with messages from neighbors. Some supportive. "Ignore her, she's always been uptight." Others wary. "Maybe tone it down? For peace." The division gnawed at her. She called her best friend Lila, back in the city. "It's like stepping back in time," Evangeline vented. "I thought Rochester was progressive." Lila sighed. "Fight back, girl. Or move. But don't let her win." Evangeline hung up, resolve hardening. She wouldn't run. But as she glanced out the window, seeing Miriam's lights on, a pang of curiosity hit. What drove someone to such hate? The next day, Miriam attended her weekly church group, her mind elsewhere. The pastor droned on about family values, and she nodded along, but her thoughts drifted to Evangeline. Why did the woman's green eyes haunt her? It was anger, she insisted inwardly. Pure anger. After the meeting, her sister called. "Heard about the neighbor drama. Good for you standing up." Miriam forced a laugh. Someone has to. But alone in her car, doubts crept in. Her marriage had been a facade. Passionless, dutiful. Had she ever felt truly alive? Shaking her head, she drove home, vowing to escalate if needed. A petition to the HOA, perhaps. Anything to restore order. Evangeline, meanwhile, buried herself in work, designing logos for a queer-friendly brand. The irony wasn't lost on her. As deadlines loomed, her mind wandered to her past. Her coming out at 19 had fractured her family. Her father barely spoke to her now. "It's a phase," he'd said. But it wasn't. And now, facing Miriam's bigotry, old wounds reopened. She decided to confront it head-on. That afternoon she baked cookies. A peace offering? Or a challenge? Knocking on Miriam's door, heart racing, she held out the plate. Miriam opened it, surprise flashing across her face. "What do you want?" Miriam snapped, but her voice lacked its usual venom. Evangeline met her gaze. "To talk. Neighbor to neighbor." Miriam hesitated, then stepped aside. Inside, the house was impeccable, photos of smiling kids everywhere. They sat at the kitchen table, tension thick. "I don't approve of your lifestyle," Miriam said flatly. Evangeline leaned forward. "And I don't approve of hate. But we're stuck here." "Truce." Miriam stared at her hands. Something in Evangeline's earnestness cracked her armor. "Fine. For now." As days passed, uneasy civility settled. Miriam found herself watching Evangeline from her window, gardening, laughing on calls. It irritated her, yet intrigued. One evening a storm hit, power out. Evangeline's lights flickered on, generator, Miriam guessed. Her own house dark, kids scared. Swallowing pride, she knocked. Evangeline answered, candle in hand. "Come in. Share the warmth." Reluctantly, Miriam entered with her children. They played board games by flashlight, laughter filling the air. For the first time, Miriam saw Evangeline not as a threat, but as a person, kind, witty. But guilt gnawed at Miriam. What would her church friends say? Her ex? That night, lying awake, she confronted buried feelings. In college, there'd been a crush on a roommate, dismissed as confusion. Now Evangeline stirred similar echoes. No. Impossible. She was straight, a mother. Yet the denial felt hollow. Evangeline, too, reflected. Miriam's vulnerability that night humanized her. Maybe change was possible. But caution lingered. Trust came slow after betrayals. The fragile truce shattered 2 weeks later when Miriam's son, Tommy, came home with a black eye. "Some kids said my mom's a bigot because of you," he sobbed. Miriam exploded inwardly. This was Evangeline's fault, her openness inviting scrutiny. Storming next door, she pounded on the door. Evangeline opened, concern etching her face. "What's wrong?" "Your influence is poisoning my family," Miriam accused, voice shaking. Evangeline stepped back, hurt flashing. "I haven't done anything." But Miriam pressed on, recounting the incident. "They called us haters. Because of your choices." Evangeline's eyes narrowed. "Or because of your actions. You started this." The argument escalated, words flying like daggers. Miriam felt a rush. Adrenaline or something else. Evangeline's passion was magnetic, pulling her in despite the fury. That night, Miriam wrestled with remorse. Tommy's pain was real, but was she projecting? Her daughter Sophie had asked innocently, "Why don't you like Evangeline? She's nice." Miriam had no answer. Calling her pastor, she sought guidance. "Stand firm in your beliefs," he advised. But it rang empty. Alone, she admitted the truth. Evangeline unsettled her because she represented freedom Miriam never had. Evangeline, bruised by the confrontation, journaled her thoughts. Why engage with someone so closed-minded? Yet Miriam's eyes during the argument, conflicted, almost pleading. It reminded her of her own internal battles before coming out. "People change," Lila had said on their call, "but not at your expense." Evangeline decided to pull back, focus on herself. She joined a local LGBTQ support group, finding solace in shared stories. Miriam, however, couldn't let go. At a neighborhood barbecue, she overheard whispers about Evangeline, some derogatory, others admiring. Jealousy spiked. Why did Evangeline get to live authentically, while she suffocated in expectations? Approaching her, Miriam forced civility. "About yesterday." "Sorry." Evangeline nodded warily. Apology accepted. "But mean it." Their conversation turned surprisingly deep, sharing about failed marriages, family pressures. Miriam opened up about her ex's infidelity. "I gave everything, got nothing." Evangeline empathized. "I know betrayal. My ex left me for a man, said I was too much." The bond grew tentatively. Miriam invited Evangeline for coffee, ostensibly to discuss neighborhood issues. But talks veered personal. Miriam confessed her rigid upbringing, conservative parents, arranged expectations. "I never questioned it." Evangeline shared her coming-out story, the rejection. "It hurt, but living a lie hurts more." Miriam listened, a knot forming in her chest. Was her life a lie? Weeks blurred into shared moments. Helping with yard work, watching kids play. Miriam's internal conflict intensified. Dreams plagued her, Evangeline's smile, her touch. Waking in sweat, she denied it. "I'm not like that." But denial cracked when Sophie befriended Evangeline, calling her Aunt Evie. Miriam's heart warmed, then panicked. What if her kids saw through her? At church, the pastor preached against modern sins. Miriam squirmed, excusing herself early. Driving home, she pulled over, tears flowing. Why did Evangeline make her feel alive? Terrified her. Confronting Evangeline that evening, she blurted, "You confuse me." Evangeline tilted her head. How? Miriam fled without answering. Evangeline pondered the encounter. Miriam's turmoil mirrored her own past denial. Compassion stirred, but so did caution. Don't get involved, she told herself. Yet when Miriam showed up days later apologetic, Evangeline listened. I don't know what's happening to me, Miriam whispered. Evangeline's heart ached. It's okay to question. The turning point came at a family dinner. Miriam's parents visited, spewing homophobic remarks. That neighbor of yours, disgraceful. Miriam nodded weakly, but inside rebellion brewed. After they left, she called Evangeline. Can we talk? They met in Evangeline's backyard, stars overhead. Miriam poured out her fears. I've always followed the rules. But you make me want more. Evangeline reached for her hand. What do you want? Miriam pulled away, conflicted. I don't know. That touch lingered in Miriam's mind, igniting forbidden desires. She researched online late nights, questioning sexuality coming out later in life. Stories resonated. Women like her trapped in heteronormative lives. But the cost, her kids' family, community. Could she risk it? Evangeline, sensing the shift, grappled with her feelings. Attraction bloomed, but Miriam's baggage loomed. She's not ready, Lila warned. Yet Evangeline hoped. A betrayal loomed when Miriam's ex, hearing rumors, threatened custody. If you're associating with that woman, I'll fight for the kids. Panic set in. Miriam distanced herself, ignoring Evangeline's calls. Hurt, Evangeline confronted her. What's going on?
Mariam lied.
Nothing. Just busy. But the lie tasted bitter. The distance grew, a chasm of unspoken words. Evangeline threw herself into work, but loneliness crept in. Why invest in someone so volatile? Her support group advised boundaries. Protect your heart. Yet memories of Miriam's vulnerability haunted her. Was it worth the pain? Miriam meanwhile battled demons. Her ex's threat echoed, fueling fear. I can't lose my kids, she thought, justifying the pullback. But isolation amplified her turmoil. At a PDA meeting, she defended Evangeline impulsively when gossip arose. She's a good person. Heads turned, questions followed. Rumors spread, Marian associating with that lesbian. Her parents called, concerned. What's this we hear? Miriam downplayed it. Just neighbors. But the facade cracked. Alone she admitted the attraction. Evangeline's strength drew her like a moth to flame. One night, drunk on wine, she texted, I miss talking. Evangeline replied cautiously, Me too. But no games. They met at a coffee shop downtown, away from prying eyes. Tension crackled.
Miriam confessed, I'm scared.
Of what I feel. Evangeline's eyes softened. What do you feel? Miriam hesitated. Attraction. To you. The admission hung heavy. Evangeline reached across the table. That's brave. But what now? The question plagued Miriam. Back home, she researched custody laws, LGBTQ rights. Horror stories of parents losing kids due to orientation terrified her. Her ex, vindictive, would weaponize it. Yet suppressing her truth felt suffocating. Am I gay? She whispered to the mirror. The word fit, terrifyingly so. Evangeline navigated her own doubts. Falling for a closeted woman spelled heartbreak. Past relationships taught her that. Yet Miriam's journey mirrored hers, denial awakening. Give her time, she decided. High drama erupted at a community event. Miriam's church group organized a fundraiser. Evangeline attended with friends. Miriam spotted her, heart racing. Avoiding her, she mingled, but a bigoted comment from a friend ignited fury. Those people shouldn't be here. Miriam snapped. Those people are human. Silence fell. Her friend gasped. What's gotten into you? Word spread. Her pastor pulled her aside. Are you questioning your faith? Miriam deflected, but seeds of doubt grew. That night, she drove to Evangeline's. I defended you. It felt right. Evangeline pulled her inside. They talked till dawn. Fears, dreams. Miriam leaned in, their foreheads touching. No kiss, but intimacy sparked. The next day, reality hit. Her ex filed for custody modification, citing unfit environment. Miriam panicked, blaming Evangeline inwardly. This is because of you. Confronting her, accusations flew. You're ruining my life. Evangeline recoiled. I'm not forcing anything. This is your truth. Betrayal deepened when Miriam, desperate, spread a rumor. Evangeline was predatory. It backfired, isolating her further. Evangeline, hurt, considered moving. Why fight for someone who hurts me? Miriam's guilt consumed her. Seeing Evangeline's pain, she realized the cost of cowardice. Apologizing profusely. I was scared. Forgive me. Evangeline wavered. Trust is broken. Rebuilding began slowly. Miriam sought therapy, exploring her identity. Sessions unearthed repressed feelings, childhood crushes, marital dissatisfaction. I'm lesbian, she admitted aloud, tears flowing. The therapist nodded. Now what will you do? Telling her kids was agonizing. Mommy likes women like how some daddies like men. Tommy shrugged. Cool. Sophie hugged her. We love you. Relief washed over, but fears lingered. Family reaction was harsher. Parents disowned her. You're going to hell. The rejection stung, echoing Evangeline's stories. Miriam leaned on her, their bond strengthening. Evangeline, seeing Miriam's growth, opened up. Dates followed, discreet walks, shared meals. Attraction deepened, but they navigated carefully. No rush, just presence. Society's backlash intensified. Neighbors petitioned against them. Miriam's job, a teacher, faced scrutiny. Inappropriate role model. She fought back, joining advocacy groups. The battle hardened her. Evangeline supported, but internal conflicts arose. Was Miriam worth the drama? Her family called, pleading return. Come home, Evie. This is too much. She refused. This is my life. A pivotal choice loomed when Miriam's ex escalated to court. Miriam had to decide. Deny her truth or risk everything. I'll fight, she vowed. Evangeline stood by her. Together. Court day arrived, tension electric. Miriam, suited up, entered the Rochester family court. Evangeline waiting outside. Her ex painted her as unstable, using her lifestyle change as ammo. Miriam's lawyer countered. Orientation isn't grounds for custody loss. Testimonies flew. Therapist affirming her stability. Kids expressing love. Miriam testified, voice steady. I've hidden who I am for too long. But I'm a good mother. The judge ruled in her favor, warning her ex against harassment. Victory bittersweet. Miriam emerged, hugging Evangeline. We did it. But the win came at a price. Lost friends, strained finances from legal fees. Was it worth it? She wondered. Post-court, their relationship blossomed. First kiss under rain, tentative, profound. No rush to labels, just exploration. Miriam moved slowly, honoring her kids. Evangeline respected that. Her patience tested but rewarded. Societal pressures persisted. At school, Sophie faced bullying. Your mom's a dyke. Miriam confronted the principal, advocating change. It empowered her but exhausted. Why can't we just live? She vented to Evangeline. Evangeline shared her burdens, work clients dropping her due to rumors. Bigotry costs. Yet together they found strength. Joining pride events, they marched, hands linked. Miriam's first pride. Overwhelming, liberating. Family reconciliation attempts failed. Her parents' silence hurt, but she built a chosen family. Evangeline's folks softened slightly, a tentative call. We're trying. Betrayal struck again from an unexpected source. A former church friend leaked private emails, outing Miriam publicly. Social media exploded. Hate messages, support mixed. Miriam spiraled. I should have stayed hidden. Evangeline held her. No. This is freedom's price. The exposure forced decisions. Miriam quit her job, starting a blog on late bloomer lesbians. It gained traction, connecting her to others. Evangeline designed the site, their collaboration deepening love. Damage lingered. Tommy withdrew, resenting the chaos. Therapy helped, but guilt weighed on Miriam. Did I selfishly upend their lives? Evangeline reassured. You showed them authenticity. High tension peaked at a family gathering. Evangeline's sister visited, judgmental. This is a phase for her. Argument ensued. Miriam defended herself. It's real. Evangeline backed her, but doubts seeded. Was their love strong enough? A moment of truth. Miriam proposed cohabitation. Let's build a life. Evangeline hesitated. After all the hurt? Miriam pleaded. I've paid the price. Have you? Reflection hit Evangeline. Her own fears of abandonment mirrored Miriam's. Yes, she agreed. They moved in, blending families cautiously. Adjustment brought conflicts. Kids' squabbles merged routines. Miriam snapped under stress, old habits surfacing. This is too hard. Evangeline countered. Love is hard. Awakening fully, Miriam embraced her identity. Writing a book proposal, she poured out her story: denial, discovery, damage. Agents interested, but vulnerability scared her. Evangeline faced her demons too. A reunion with her ex stirred jealousy in Miriam. Do you miss her? Evangeline laughed. No. You're mine now. Climax built with a community confrontation. Neighbors held a meeting on family values. Miriam spoke up. Love is love. Boos and cheers clashed. Evangeline joined. We've all paid for hate. Time for change. The stand united them, but backlash followed. Vandalism on their home. Fags out. Fear gripped, but resolve held. Police involved, community divided. In quiet moments they reflected on choices. Miriam. I betrayed myself for years. Now I pay for truth. Evangeline. And I'd pay again. As months passed, healing began. Kids adapted, friends emerged. Miriam's blog thrived, inspiring others. Evangeline's business rebounded with inclusive clients. Yet scars remained. Miriam's parents reached out tentatively. We miss the grandkids. Reconciliation loomed. Conditional. Accept us all, Miriam demanded. The olive branch from Miriam's parents hung in the air. A test of boundaries. Miriam agonized over coffee with Evangeline. If I say yes, am I compromising? Evangeline squeezed her hand. Only if they don't change. The meeting was set. A neutral park in Rochester. Nerves frayed, Miriam arrived with kids. Her mother hugged them. Eyes on Evangeline warily. This is her. Miriam nodded firmly. My partner. Conversation stumbled. Father grumbled about traditional values. Miriam pushed back. Values include love. Tears flowed, regrets aired. We were wrong, her mother admitted softly. Not full acceptance, but a start. Miriam felt a weight lift, yet cautious. Time will tell. Back home, Evangeline reflected. Her own family remained distant, but Miriam's progress inspired hope. Maybe call your dad? Miriam suggested. Evangeline did, voice trembling. I miss you. Silence then. Miss you too. Let's talk. Small victories accumulated. Their relationship deepened amid trials. A weekend getaway, first as a couple. Laughter, confessions. Miriam. I almost lost everything. Evangeline. But you gained yourself. Intimacy grew emotionally. Boundaries respected. Society's evolution mirrored theirs. Local laws shifted pro-LGBTQ, their advocacy contributing. Miriam spoke at events, voice strong. I was the oppressor, then the oppressed. Change is possible. Personal costs tallied. Lost income, fractured friendships. But gains. Authenticity, love. Tommy confided. I'm proud of you, Mom. Sophie's drawings featured their blended family. A final confrontation with Miriam's ex sealed growth. He apologized, dropping animosity. I was bitter. Miriam forgave, closing the chapter. As seasons changed, they planned a commitment ceremony. Small, meaningful. Vows exchanged. Through betrayal and awakening, I choose you. Joy overflowed, but realism tempered. Life's not fairy tale, Evangeline whispered. Years condensed into routines, school runs, date nights, therapy check-ins. Miriam's book published, bestseller in niche. Reviews praised raw honesty. Evangeline illustrated the cover, proud. Reflecting on the journey, Miriam journaled. I bullied out of fear, paid with pain. Was it karma? Or destiny? Evangeline faced her shadows too. Trust issues mended through Miriam's consistency. In a quiet evening they sat on the porch, hands entwined. We made it, Miriam said. Evangeline smiled. Despite everything. The story of their love stood as testament to resilience, but questions lingered. Had Miriam truly atoned? Was societal change enough? Was Miriam's initial hatred a forgivable product of her upbringing, or an inexcusable choice that demanded lifelong penance?